everyone, from Sarah. Today I'm showing you this lovely stitch. I've called it the Slip and Back Loop Tunisian Stitch. And as you see, it produces this lovely and regular texture. And I promise this is the easiest and quickest Tunisian stitch ever. So let's begin. So this stitch can be worked from a chain in any number of stitches. Here I have already started with a standard foundation row in Tunisian crochet that counts as row number 1. As usual, I will leave all useful links for all stitches and techniques used in this video, both in the description below and in the small links that appear on your screen in the top right hand corner. So, as I said, standard foundation row, 1 loop on the hook already counts as loop number 1. Here I begin by making a slip stitch in Tunisian crochet in the next stitch, in the first stitch of the row, if we do not consider the one that's right under the loop on the hook here. So, slip stitch in Tunisian crochet is done by simply inserting the hook from right to left under the vertical bar of the next stitch, so here, okay? And this is the only stitch in Tunisian crochet where we do not drop a loop, really. We just do a movement. We just insert the hook under the vertical bar and leave it being, so we leave it there. Then we will make a, we will drop a loop from the back bar, let's say, back horizontal bar of the next stitch. So if we consider this is the next stitch, the next vertical bar here, this one, we look at it from above and we can see this is the small horizontal bar that's behind it, and we need to insert the hook there, okay? And here we will yarn over and drop a loop. Okay, so slip stitch in first stitch, followed by back loop stitch. Let's call it like that. And this is it basically. We will continue like this, alternating between slip stitches and back loop stitches until the end of the forward pass. So this means we will make a slip stitch here, followed by a back loop stitch in the next stitch. Here it is, the back loop, and we drop a loop. Okay, so slip stitch and back loop stitch in the next stitch. Slip stitch, back loop stitch, slip stitch, back loop stitch, slip stitch, back loop, slip stitch, and we have reached the end of the forward pass where we will make, as usual, a so-called neat closing stitch. That is to say, if we look at that border stitch like this and we consider these two tiny bars here, we need to insert the hook under them or behind them, like so. Then we yarn over and drop a loop. Okay, so and the return pass for this stitch pattern is the standard one. So we just yarn over and pull through 1 loop only first, then we yarn over and pull through 2 loops together, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, repeating this movement until the end of the row. That is to say, until the end of the return pass, and until we are left with just 1 loop on the hook. Okay, and in the next row we will do the same but alternating. So this means if we have begun with a slip stitch in the previous row, we will now begin with a back loop stitch where we had the slip stitch in the previous row. So this is the slip stitch of previous row. we will make a back loop stitch here. Okay, and draw up a loop. And this is where the back loop was in previous row, here. And we will make a slip stitch. And so on, keeping on alternating between slip stitch and back loop stitch until the end of the forward pass. I always needed to pay attention because I have the tendency to make a simple stitch instead of a slip stitch. It is so strange to just go with the hook under a stitch without working it in a way. And you see, so the last stitch of the row is a back loop stitch here. Okay, well, not the last, the second to last. And then we have a neat closing stitch and we turn. And that's it. We just proceed and keep on alternating row after row, just as you've seen so far. So here, for example, I started on the previous row with a back loop, so I start again with a slip stitch. And the reason why I said it is so quick, it's because you basically skip one stitch. You skip stitches in the row when you do the slip stitches because you don't work them. So the movements you do are less. So it is very, very quick once you learn how to do it. You see? You basically work half the stitches in a row. And the good thing is that the texture is so fine and regular looking that this pattern can really be used for any kind of project you have in mind. And as you see, it does not curl at all. Okay, here it is. And this is the back. I never show you the backs of stitches. See how lovely the back is also. Okay, so this is it for today as well. I hope you liked this video. Thank you for watching, for subscribing and leaving comments. I really appreciate it. And see you next time. Bye bye.